I'm Amelie and welcome once again to my channel. Today I'm going to be watching Kinnporsche episodes 13 and 14. We are finally here. We finally got to the ending of the show and I'm so fucking excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's in store for me in these two episodes. You know, maybe the possibility of a second season. I'm hoping. I think somebody in the comments said that there is a possibility of it. So, you know, maybe I'll expect not all the storylines to be able to, wrapped up at the end. Maybe some of them are going to be left open for that reason. So I don't know. I just want to see more Kinnporsche. I haven't seen how it ends. Maybe they kill off all the characters and I'm going to be very disappointed. But if everything goes well, I'm definitely going to be very excited for a second season. Now, I am right in the middle of a sugar rush. I ate a whole bunch of sugar, like 10 minutes ago. I ate a whole packet of bizcochitos. I drank a whole lot of chocolate milk because, I'm a 12-year-old in the body of a 30-something-year-old woman. In my defense, I'm on holidays, and also that chocolate milk is so fucking good. I don't know if they sell it in other countries. It's called Sindor. It's just so delicious. I also think it has a little bit of caffeine, maybe more than a little bit. I don't know. There is a coffee version of it, I think it's a chocolate coffee thing. It's not as good. The traditional chocolate is just perfection, and cold is just the best thing, especially with how hot things are here in Argentina. So nothing. I need to capitalize in this sugar rush that I'm living right now because this video is going to be so fucking long. To give you some idea, I went back to my channel and I checked my previous videos to see how long they were. And before, last week, usually I have very long videos. I have videos that are 2 hours and something, 2 hours and 2 hours and a half, 2 hours and 40, things like that. Those are pretty common. My longest video before last week was my ranking of every single character in Word of Honor. And that was 3 hours, almost to the dot, 3 hours and 1 minute. And that was my longest video until last week. Last week, my video was 3 hours and 37 minutes. That was massive. And those were 2 episodes of 1 hour. So I definitely stopped a lot along the way. Now, the reason why I think this one is probably going to be even longer is that the 2 episodes, one of 1 hour, the other one's an hour 20. So again, I think also that I'm going to have a lot to say in the middle. I am, as usual, going to be stopping quite a bit. That's just how I watch. So I think this video has the possibility of being over 4 hours, I think. And that is a long time. I think I'm going to take a break somewhere in the middle between watching the 2 episodes just to get a coffee because I feel like I'm getting, at some point I'm going to crash with all this sugar. I need to keep that energy going. So I'm just excited. And before doing this, I have this idea because I was thinking that I already said that my review of the series, I was not going to do it after watching the show, that I was going to do it in a separate video that I'm going to do after I come back from my holidays. Obviously, I'm going to say something about it. It's not like you're going to have no idea how I feel about the show. I am going to say a few words about it, whether I like it or not. And I think you'll probably tell if I liked it or not. But I just didn't want to go too much into it because obviously I'm preparing that other video, in a week, 2 weeks, who knows. So I didn't just want to finish the reaction and that's it. Like, okay, that was the end of it. Then goodbye and, stop recording. I wanted to do something to give some closure in a way to the video. So what I thought about doing is I thought I'm going to write down my predictions of what I think might happen in these 2 episodes. And then I'm going to check at the end whether I was right. And I wrote these predictions in a bingo card, in this bingo card that you can see here. It's empty because I'm going to make my predictions appear through the magic of technology, I guess. I don't know. Animation, I guess. But they're going to be there, I promise. These are a lot of predictions. I think I didn't realize there were that many squares in a bingo card. I don't play bingo, so I underestimated how many predictions I have to make. So don't expect all of them to be great. Some of them are just filling a square. I'm going to be honest here. But I think it's going to be fun. And then at the end of the episode, I can see whether I make bingo with my predictions, I guess. I don't know. You may be thinking you're already doing a video that is probably going to last 4 hours. Why do you have to make it longer? I don't know. It's one of my issues. I don't know what's wrong with me. I should discuss it with my therapist why I need to make every video unbearably long. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, let's talk about my predictions because I have things to say. I'm not just going to show you them. I'm also going to explain them because I have a lot of time in my hands, apparently. So let's talk about my first prediction. And this one is probably the most basic one. I think that this is the most basic, and if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be very angry. My first prediction is that Kin and Porsche are going to end up together. And by together, I mean them in a relationship and being happy. That's what I'm asking. And I'm specifying Kin and Porsche because not that I don't care about the other two parents. I do like them, some parents more than other, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. But I feel that they got together, or I don't know, they started off a lot later in the game. So I feel like they are right in the middle of the conflict and we only have 2 episodes. I don't know if they're going to have time to solve everything in those 2 hours. While Kim and Porsche, while having their issues, communication essentially and trust, they're pretty much together. So I feel like they are more likely to end up together. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind if the other couples didn't end up together, if they are saving it for the second season, like if they end up developing more in the second season. I would prefer them not, if the choice is get them together in a rush or developing them better in the second season and get them together there, I would prefer the latter. Obviously, this is counting that there is a second season. If there is not a second season, I want all of the happy endings in this season. I don't care how much rush they are. That is just what I always feel. I don't want any unhappy endings. So please, if that's the case, please end up together. Anyway, that's how I feel. But obviously, Kim and Porsche is my priority here. Hopefully, they end up together, and I can't wait for the others. I don't care. Let's see the second prediction. The second prediction is that either Korn or Gunn is going to die, but not both of them. This also, I'm still assuming that there's going to be a second season, essentially. If there's not a second season, both of them can die. I don't care. But when I was thinking about the second season, obviously this is based on a book, so I don't know how much they are going to follow what happens in that book. I have no idea. So this is me just inventing, clearly. So, what I'm trying to say is I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm still going to talk. Anyway, I feel that if you're going to have a second season, you have to have either Korn or Gunn, because Korn or Gunn in the first season had been the source of pretty much every conflict that has happened in this show, whether indirectly or directly. So I feel that if you kill both of them, you have to start the next season from zero. You have to start by creating other conflict, essentially. And you would say, well, Vegas and Kin are there. Yes, but I have the feeling that without their parents egging them on to continue their rivalry, I feel like the relationship between Vegas and Kin wouldn't be as antagonistic as it is, especially considering that their boyfriends are friends. So I feel that they would at least try to achieve some semblance of peace between them. And definitely, I feel the relationship wouldn't be as conflictive as it was in the first season without their parents there. So I think that probably what you should do is to just keep one of them and then, not one of Kin and Porsche. I hope both of them are kept for the second season. I mean, you should keep either Korn or Gunn to continue a little bit of the conflict there and maybe kill them and at the same time start, developing another source of conflict that could be external as well. You can get another mafia boss that is moving into the territory. I don't know. But I have a feeling that You can tell that these are not so much predictions as things that I would like to happen, by the way. But same thing, I guess. I feel like if I have to choose between Gunn and Korn, definitely Gunn. Not only because he's a huge piece of shit, I feel like he's just a violent psychopath. I feel like Korn is also bad, but in a way that is more entertaining, and it has a lot more potential to the story because you never know what Korn is going to do. So I feel like you don't know what he's doing, you don't know what he's planning. So I feel that gives you a lot more potential. Like Gunn, I feel like he's a more transparent character that, I don't know, I just find him more, I don't want to say boring, but he does what he's supposed to do and that's it. I feel Korn has a lot more potential to do more shit and to create more drama. So that's my preference anyway. Let's see the second. That's the second. I don't know how to count. The third prediction. My third prediction is that Kim confronts Korn about his investigation. Kim has been investigating for a long time, and I don't see that investigation going anywhere. Like, what is he trying to achieve? Why is he doing it? So I'll wish for him to do something with his investigation. Maybe confront Korn about it. Like, this is all the shit that I find about you. Or maybe helping Porsche in some way. I don't know. I just would like to see this investigation being used for something other than being there. I don't know. Obviously, I feel like Kim was a little bit sidetracked in this investigation because of what happened with Che, but I still would like to see that investigation doing something other than just maybe informing the viewer about certain things and, maybe showing us that there is something happening. But I don't know. I would like it for it to have some weight in the story that is actually happening. So let's see the next one. 3 characters are going to die. Look, I already know. I don't know if I know it, but I'm pretty sure that I know that there is a big fight in either of these 2 episodes because I've seen the trailer and I've seen that there is a big fight. I'm imagining that this fight is a fight between the main and the minor family because I feel like we are being leading there. There has been a lot of tension between these 2 families. So I imagine characters are going to die, whether in that confrontation before or after. I put the number 3 because I like the number 3. Hopefully it's less, not more, because, obviously Gunn or Korn is going to die. I feel at least one of them is going to die. So there's one there, but then there are 2 other characters, and there are not a lot of characters that I just don't care about. I would say there's none of the characters that are left that I don't care about. So this means that 2 characters that I like are going to die. So that is a lot. Hopefully it's less, not more, but I put 3 just because I like the number 3. And I know at least some characters going to die. And by character, I mean characters that have lines and characters that have names. I'm not counting characters that are just there in the background. Background characters are not counted. I feel like from those, we're going to have a whole bunch dying. I mean actual characters that I can say, oh, that's this character and that. That's it. Hopefully it's less. Let's see the next one. Che is going to go to study abroad. I feel like this is less of a prediction and more of a suggestion, maybe, like an advice that I'm giving Che, because we have seen that he has rejected the possibility of going to that university, and I have the feeling that he should still go. Maybe not to that particular university, but he should do something with music because he loves it, and he can go study abroad. I mean, let's not forget that Che has now Kin pretty much paying for him. He can go wherever he likes. He can go to any country that he likes. He can come here to Argentina. We love to have him. And I bet we have music universities, I guess. I don't know, maybe. So he should go abroad. And this is not only, I think it would be good not only because I feel that, he should continue his studies, and I don't think he's going to do it in that university because it has a lot of associations with Kim, and I'm already anticipating that they probably won't get together. And this is a lot, again, more of a hope than a prediction. It's not that I don't like Kim and Che, but my issue that I have with them, and I know that the actor who plays Che is over 18. I know that he entered university. Great. I feel that to me, he still looks very young, like 15, 16. And it is a little bit weird to see him with a whole ass adult, just in a relationship. So that's definitely something that I feel a little bit uncomfortable in watching. So my hope is that they actually don't get together, and that in the, Chai goes away and then he comes back a few years later. He's older, he's more mature, he's less naive, and he can start his relationship with Kim in a more level play field. I also feel, because let's not forget that when Che met Kim, it was like a fun meeting his idol. So, I would like to see them meet more like equals rather than that, and maybe restart the relationship in a different footing. And them being a little bit older, maybe Kim can go into a little bit of therapy so he can deal with his emotional stuntness, I guess. I don't know, but I would definitely be more interested in seeing an older Kate. Maybe the second season can start a few years later, like, 3 years have gone by and Chase coming back from studying abroad. And, he's more mature, he's a little bit older. I would be really into that. I think that is the way in which I would be into them as a couple, because in the way that I've seen them in this season, I'm just still, I don't know if I want to see them together, to be honest. Let's see the next one. The next one is that Vegas lets Pete go and gets punished. What I imagine from this is that at some point, Gunn might ask Vegas again to kill Pete. Like, he discovers he's there and he gives the gun. It's like, no, you have to kill him. And Vegas, maybe he's going to tell Pete, like, okay, no, you have to punch me or shoot me in the shoulder or something like that, so then you can escape. Like, I'm going to let you escape, but you make it look like you escape, not like I let you go. So, Pete escapes thanks to him, but at the same time, Gunn is very angry that he let him go, like, he let him escape, and he punishes Vegas. That's what I imagine, something like that. I imagine at some point Pete is going to leave Vegas. I don't know. This is my preferred method, but I think he can escape. He can be rescued. Who knows what happened? But this is my prediction for that. And I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see this. The next one. King references his gun. A classic. I feel like we haven't got even enough jokes of King, talking about his gun. I feel like I need more of them. At least one. I just want one more. I feel like in 2 hours, 20 minutes, you can fit at least one more reference to this. I feel we deserve it. It's just, I just need more of this. The next one. Tankun with a gun. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think Tankun is going to be using a gun at some point. I don't know if he knows how to shoot. I don't know what he's going to do with a gun, but I feel like he should get one and see what happens. Just give him a gun. Like, what is the worst that can happen? Kill some people? That happens every day in this show. So, I don't know. Just give Tankun a gun. The next one. Someone comes back from the dead. Now, you have to admit that this show has already established the possibility of someone coming back from the dead. So I feel that it wouldn't be completely out of nowhere if more characters came back from the dead. I don't mean necessarily characters that we have seen die. I mean, there are some characters that definitely not coming back, not without a Frankenstein level intervention. But I feel like there are other characters that could came back. I'm thinking specifically of King's mom. I would love for her to make a comeback. Like, she was never dead. She was just abroad. I don't know. But like, they didn't know that she was alive. Like, they thought she was dead. Because I feel like with King's mom, we have got a lot of references, but we never seen a picture of her. And I feel like she has been like a presence that has been there, but not there at the same time. I don't know. I just feel like it's suspicious. There is no pictures of her, especially if you compare it with Porsche, that we have seen pictures of his parents in his house. Like, we haven't seen any picture of King's mom anywhere. She's just referenced, but just as your mom and things like that, she's not mentioned. We know that King, apparently people tell him that he looks like her. And then we have another reference with Gunn and his apple cutting thing. That was weird. And then what is the other one? When Porsche was drying King's hair, he also mentions that. So I feel like we could get a comeback from her. I don't know, maybe both Gun and Corn dies and she's the new boss. She comes back just to be the new boss. Like, can you imagine both of them die and their sons, okay, now we are the leaders, and she appears, it's like, you thought, now I'm the boss. So I think it could be, I don't know. That is my preference, but I think at this point, any character could come back from the dead, unless we actually saw their head separated from their body. I feel any other character can come back. It's just open for it. Let's see the next one. The next one is that a reference to something from the first episode. This is more like a wish, but I love for them to maybe take something from the first episode and recontextualize it. Like maybe something that was said, maybe something that was done. Like, for example, maybe Kin and Porsche being in Yoke's bar and Porsche preparing a drink for him like he did in the first episode. But in this case, he's actually doing it because he wants to do it and because he likes it, and maybe he prepares something else for him. I don't know. I just want to see like a callback to a previous, not to the previous, to the first episode. Just to close, just to give, to come full circle in a way. The next one. Paul has a badass moment. Paul has not had a moment in like, I like him. I love Paul. He's, other than the main, bodyguards, obviously we have Porsche and Pete, and he's my favorite one. I'm not even going to lie. Like, obviously Chan is there, but Chan doesn't do that much. He's just there to be pretty, I guess. But Paul, he actually does things. He just never does some things that a bodyguard should do. And I feel like he should have a moment. And I want a moment that, I don't know, he rescues someone, so he's badass in a way that everybody's surprised, like, oh, I didn't thought that he could do that. So I hope he does that. I don't know if he's going to have it, but that's my hope. I think he deserves it. He's more than just there to support Tankun. I mean, he's technically one of the best bodyguards, because when Tankun told Porsche that his dad had a meeting outside and he took his best bodyguards, Paul was not there, so clearly he took Paul as considering he's his best bodyguard. But I feel like we have only seen a side of Paul that is probably his dumbest side. I feel like we should be able to see more of it. We should be able to see another side of Paul. We haven't even seen him with a gun. Like, just a moment. I just want a moment for him to shine. That's all I want. Let's see the next one. The next one is that Che and Kin fight for some reason. I find it surprising that they haven't fought so far. Maybe it's because Che. I don't even know how I'm pronouncing this name now. I feel like Che is such a nice, just a nice boy. He's such a nice boy. And I'm surprised that he didn't blame Kin for more things that happen, because, putting his brother in danger and all of that. Obviously, we know that it's not necessarily or as simple as that, but I don't know. I can imagine a situation in which something happens to Porsche because of Kin's job, and Che blaming him and maybe having a fight with him. They can hug it out after, but I don't know. I guess I'm just surprised that Che seemed to have so much issue. So he seemed to take so much issue with Porsche's job being dangerous, and just accepting Kin like, oh yes, this is your mafia boss, boyfriend, and that is fine. Not that I care, because I actually really like that moment in which Kin said, I think, I don't know if it was last episode. I think it was one of the last episodes. He was with Che and Porsche in Porsche's house, and he said, other than Che, you are the thing that I care the most. So it feels like Kin had already adopted Che, and I don't know, I really like the relationship, but I could do with a little bit more tension. I think it would make sense. I don't know. Let's see the next one. Okay, so I feel like you can tell which part I started to run out of ideas about possibilities in this season. So I did this very late at night as well. So I actually had forgotten that I put this. So I think possible that Vegas is going to give Pete a dog collar. Look, I have some ideas of this. Wait, I have an explanation. I think Vegas may buy a dog collar for Pete, but a nice one. He has money. He can buy a nice dog collar, like, when he's a prisoner, and, he puts it on him, and Pete maybe likes it. And then when he leaves, either because Vegas let him go, or he escapes, or he's rescued, then he still has the collar, and he doesn't want to take it out because he still has feelings for Vegas. So the others comment like, why are you wearing a dog collar? And he doesn't want to take it out, and he doesn't want to explain, so he just, start to close his shirt to the last button so nobody would see the dog collar. And then maybe much later they meet again, and Vegas see that he's still wearing the dog collar, and it's like, oh, you still care, something like that. At this point, I don't know if I just wrote like a whole different story. I feel like at this point I'm just writing fan fiction, but it could happen. It's possible. I feel like everything is possible in this show. Might as well get Vegas giving Pete a dog collar and having everything else happen. You know what? I hope it does. Let's see the next one. Poor cook for Kin, and he loves it. Look, this is far-fetched because I don't anticipate that these two episodes are going to have a lot of cute domestic moments between Porsche and Kin. I feel it's going to be more action-packed, but I would love to see that, because we already know that Porsche is just probably not very good at cooking. Well, he's not very good at doing coffee, which seems fairly simple. So I don't know how good at cooking he might be, but I'm guessing that maybe, or I'm this is the situation that I'm picturing. I think Porsche may get this is a recipe that his mother used to make. Maybe with Kin, maybe Kin is sick and he has a soup that his mother used to make him, so he goes and makes it, and it's actually absolutely disgusting because Porsche is not a good cook, and Kin, who normally would probably tell him the truth like he did with a coffee, although they were in a relationship then, so that's different. But he would actually eat the whole thing, like ask for more, tell him it's delicious, and, Porsche would be happy, and Kin would have food poisoning for the rest of the episode. But that's how I envision that scene. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. I wish it happened. I don't think it's going to happen, but again, this is just, I feel like this is my wish list rather than my prediction list. The next one, Macau actually does something. Look, I don't want to be mean with Macau. I feel he just doesn't have a lot to do. He's just there. That's his thing. He's just there. So I hope he actually, maybe at the last minute, it turns out he has some information, or he does something, just something that actually affects the story. So I don't know. I like Macau. I would be interested in seeing more of him, especially because it feels like a lot of the time Vegas forgets that Macau exists. So I just wish more Macau. Macau deserves. That's why I thought that it would be good for Macau and Shay to be friends. I think that would be a way to get Macau, because I would say that the problem that we have with Macau, probably because somebody told me that in the books Macau and Vegas are a lot closer, and it's definitely shown. And I feel here probably we suffer of two things. First of all is that 14 episodes is probably not a lot of time, so you are restricted in that sense in how much you can show. But at the same time, a lot of the Vegas episodes, especially lately, have to do with him being in a dungeon with Pete doing stuff. I don't imagine Macau can be there. So that, the fact that Macau can only appear when he's, when Vegas has to be involved, I feel that's a pity. I feel like it would be interesting to see him, separate from Vegas, like his own character. So that's why I thought it would be interesting to see a friendship between Macau and Che, as a way to give Macau his own character arc that is separate from Vegas a little bit. And I don't know, just give him something to do. I just want to see more Macau. Let's see the next one. Cancun gets new cops. He was promised new cops. The cops never arrive. I feel like she should get them. That's all I have to say about that. The cops never arrived. Next one. The police makes an appearance. I mean, I know that this is a very powerful family and they probably have the police in their pockets. That's probably the reason why we never see the police. The only reference to, obviously, Wait, the only reference that we have seen of police is the police reports that Kim has, and also him going to talk to that ex-police chief. But then we have never seen a police. Like, they had been doing all sort of things, like shooting in the open, like just on the street, fighting in the street, had been burning whole buildings. Never a sight of the police. The police have never been there. The police never appears. And believe me, I understand, because I live in a country where the police is probably one of the worst police in the world, both incompetent, useless, and just absent, corrupt. So I'm not surprised that maybe it's not there. Like, but I feel like even here in Argentina, if you were openly shooting in the street, somebody would appear. At least one police officer say, "Oh, what's all this?" Something. So I wish we saw that. Just one police officer appearing, and then, I don't know, them giving them money and then going away, just to show that they exist. Because the police presence in this show is equivalent to the police presence in Advanced Bravely. Although I think in Advanced Bravely actually got more police, because we actually saw an arrest. So even less. Again, I understand that they probably have them in their pockets and they're very powerful, but I don't know, one policeman at least? I don't know. The next one. Porsche punches Kim or Vegas. I feel Porsche has reason to punch either of them. Kim, because he did what he did to his brother. And I'm going to be honest, if somebody did something like that to my little brother, especially when he was, still that young, I would punch them. I wouldn't personally punch them because I'm just not that good at that, but I'll definitely threaten them. So I feel like Porsche should get to punch at least one of them. I think both of them is too much, but at least one of them. I don't know which one I prefer, either Kim or Vegas. I think both had their merit. I would say probably Vegas, because I feel like if you punch Kim, then you have to deal with his brothers. Like, why are you punching my brother? I feel like if he punches Vegas, that's just a given for the other brothers. Like, Kim and Tankun finding out he punched Vegas, like, oh, that's great. So, Vegas, but I'll be happy with either. The next one. Con turns a new version of Porsche's parents' death. I already know that the whole car accident is absolutely bullshit. We already, we saw the photo. We know there's something going on. So he has to tell another version of that story. I don't know if the version is going to be the real one. I don't know if he's actually going to tell the truth, or if he's going to just continue bullshitting us. But I think he's definitely going to re-explain himself at some point when or if Porsche confronts him with, but look at this picture. So he'll have to come up with something else. Okay, let's see the next one. Someone ends up in the hospital. This one was, it's not too difficult. I assume a lot of people are going to end up in a hospital if they have a fight, but I want them to show someone in the hospital, and I mean the hospital with the big beds, the one Kin goes. I want that specific hospital. I don't want just any, random hospital. I think somebody should end in that particular hospital. That is, not a very difficult guess to do, because I think all of them go to that hospital. They seem to be, I guess that's the hospital they have at hand. Let's see the next one. How did I spell it? Look, the spaces in this bingo card are too small, so I couldn't put the whole phrase. I'm going to rephrase it. I think Pete is going to have to choose between Vegas and the main family. I feel that is probably a given, although now that I think about it, I think it could be the other way around as well. I think maybe Vegas would have to choose between Pete and the minor family, but I'm more inclined for Pete, because I think that in the case of Vegas, his dad still has a very, let's say, a very deep control. He still have a very, tight hold on him. So I think it's a lot difficult for Vegas to, even for Pete to want to disassociate with his dad and the minor family. Well, I think Pete is, ultimately just an employee of the main family. So I feel that he's more likely to have to make that choice. I don't think Vegas is necessarily going to do it, although that would be very interesting as well. But I think at some point, Pete is going to have to choose between, being with Vegas or being in the main family. I think. I don't think he can do both. I don't think that would be allowed. But again, it's going to be an interesting situation, definitely. Let's see the next one. Explosion makes somebody disappear. Again, how I wrote this, I don't know. I feel like at this stage, I just went the telenovela way, and I think there should be a big explosion that makes someone disappear, and everybody believes that this person is dead, but actually this person was rescued and they lost their memory. So now they just have to be in a different place. And maybe Tankun, I'm thinking from this, like maybe Tankun is rescued, but he doesn't remember, and maybe he meets someone and he gets, someone for himself, but then he starts remembering and he realizes that he's putting that person in danger and he leaves them, but that person doesn't want to. I know, again, I'm already writing the second season for you guys, like, I'm going to stop because I don't, take notes. Also, I feel like I'm writing fan fiction a little bit. But I think it could happen. I don't know. Maybe not. But I mean a big explosion, not just, I mean like a whole building explosion. Because to make somebody disappear, it would have to be a pretty big explosion. There have to be like rubble left. And then they can find his body and they think, oh, he might be, he might, I don't know, burn to death. I don't know. But he didn't. And he's going to come back. I don't know. I think it could happen. Who knows? Someone will be kidnapped and thrown in the water. Look, I feel like in the bodyguard training, there was a lot of emphasis placed in essentially getting yourself free when you're thrown into the water tied up. And this was make it seem like it was daily occurrence, like it's not going to be a day when you're not kidnapped, thrown into the water, and you have to release yourself. And yet we have seen one situation in which this has happened. So I feel it should happen. I don't care who, I don't care what's the situation. I think one bodyguard should be thrown into the water and they should release themselves based on this whole lot of training that they have been getting. I think it would be nice. It would be, because again, there was a lot of emphasis placed on that. I could be anyone. Maybe Pete when he escapes or when he leaves. Like, this is what I'm imagining. I imagine Pete maybe leaving the house when he escapes, or maybe when Vegas lets him go. And I think he was on an island, so maybe he's throws himself into the water or he falls into the water. I don't know. Maybe he escapes at night and he can't see where the water is and he falls into the water. I don't know. I just want somebody to actually show me the practical application of all of that they were doing in the pool. The next one, the last one. Kim is going to write a song for Che. I feel Che already wrote a song for him. Kim should write a song for him as well. Especially because I have the feeling that Kim is somebody who expresses his feelings a lot through songs more than, actual talking. So I feel like this is a possibility. Maybe he writes the song and then Che just so happens to hear it and realize that he's referencing a lot of moments that they spent together, and maybe that's the spark and said, oh, that's right. So he still has feelings for me. Anyway, that's it. That is my bingo card. It has some wild ones, but I feel like it has some that they are actually possible to happen. I have some faith on this. So that's it. That is the end. It has been very long because, as you know, I just can't help myself. So that's it. Let's go into the episode. Okay, so we are ready for episode number 13. It's here. Let's just go into it. So let's go to episode number 13 right now.